that long day behind you. Good times lie ahead. With company worth keeping, that'll bash a smile on your head. Come on in, the door's open, you'll find just the finest folks here. Pull up a chair, grab a drink, and lend our stories your ear. Cause we'll talk the tavern. Here you're always welcome. The talk the tavern. Promising beer and bedlam. The talk the tavern. Music, medicine, then some. The talk the tavern. The song's over. Here we come.
And welcome to the tavern, everyone. No, I never muted. I don't mute. I'm a wild man that way. I am Travis Sivart. Check out my incredible books. There are a bunch more before the end of 2022. I want to have 6 books in my Portal series. Go check them out. Just Google them. Right, my vices. I am loading a pipe with Cornell and Deal Dark Cherry Cavendish right now. It's going to be a wonderful lumberjack Savinelli here. But also, as we did the last episode and the next episode, we've got an incredible guest with us here who I'm so excited, and she's fitting in so well in the tavern, which is always a worry for us. Rachel, what are your vices tonight?
I've just got a Coke, not like the recreational Coke, but just a Coca-Cola and some water. And I am the author of Let There Be Fire, R.A. Morley, which you can find on Amazon, on Apple Books, Barnes & Noble, anywhere you can get your ebooks. And Ed, what about you?
My vice tonight is liquid apples. It's very good.
Did you liquefy them yourself?
No, I didn't mash these myself. How about you, Andrea? What's your vice tonight?
Unfortunately, it's the last of my Pocky.
Aww.
It makes me very sad.
You guys know what Pocky is?
It's these wonderful strawberry cream covered biscuit sticks things.
They're like the size of a skewer with strawberry flavoring over it, and they're crunchy and cheese.
No. It's kind of like you remember when you were a kid and you like to have like little pretzel sticks, and you would dip them in cheese. But this is like just like a sweet version of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So let's raise a glass, because last time we did Butcher, this time we're doing Baker, next time we're doing Candlestick Maker. So let's raise our glasses. Which, by the way, I have some Johnny Walker High Rye, incredible, sent for me from a viewer and listener in Tennessee. Here's the baked goods. God damn. Killing us slowly.
Mm-hmm.
So, as we look at this topic here, Andrea, I love to cook. I don't bake worth shit. I just don't enjoy it. It's not my thing. But you love to bake. You like to make bread. You like to make cakes. You like to make muffins. You grow all kinds of things. Oh, yeah, Doug. Doug asks for a live viewing audience here, but the alcohol is okay? Alcohol is great. And that's also a grain, just so everybody knows. It's like baking, but liquid. So, and Rachel, you fancy yourself a baker. Is that correct?
I don't fancy myself anything.
Oh.
You fancy me.
Rachel, do you bake some shit? I don't know where to go now. Ed, you don't bake worth shit, right?
I don't bake shit. I smoke shit, but I don't bake shit.
Okay, by smoke shit, let's clarify that. He likes to smoke meats and canned goods, and he makes a hell of a buffalo stew. But
you make a great baked chicken.
Are we going back to the smoked part?
No.
I don't know what we're doing.
We're talking about making.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that is.
I think she's just roasting you now.
I think we're talking about baked goods, though, as opposed to baked chicken or baked potatoes.
Baked chicken is a baked good.
It is.
It's yummy.
It's really good, and it's baked.
It's back to that sandwich fight again.
God, that sandwich fight is a beautiful fight. Oh, okay. So, Rachel, let's focus on you for a moment.
Yes.
What do you bake? What do you do?
I mean, I bake all the things that my friends like to eat, essentially. Because this kind of started off with, in typical Belizean fashion, is women don't tell you, I love you. We just feed you the things you like and hope you get the idea. So, so anytime I was dating a boyfriend or a girlfriend, I wanted to find out what is that treat that they like. And that's what I would learn to make for them.
So okay, I'm curious. We're moving slightly into a tangent here. Is there a consistent thing that people liked that you can kind of have as a go-to starter point for baking a treat?
Probably the easiest thing you can do is going to be a crumble. It's very, very hard to mess that up.
What?
I'm looking at Andrea to see if she's...
Oh yeah, it's very easy. I'll make you one later.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's like
Because
butter, flour,
it's
sugar,
like-
and cinnamon, right?
Yeah, it's typically you're gonna just have like for your dry ingredients, it's gonna be like flour, sugar, cinnamon, which I like to use the dark brown sugar, and then like I'll throw in oats or something for like a nice little crisp crunch with it.
Okay. By the
all
way,
nicely made.
Mouse says blushes at messing up a crumble. So, you want to give us a quick rundown on making a good crumble?
I mean, it's going to start with what you're using as a crumble, like for your top. Whatever fruit you're putting in doesn't really matter because your actual crumble crust is what's going to kind of keep everything in there, keep those juices nice, and sort of like make this like faux pie kind of thing going on. So like I was saying is, you have your flour that you use. I like to use dark brown sugar, so it's like a half and half going that way. I'll throw in oats to give it like a nice little consistency to it, nice crunch to it, some cinnamon for taste, and then just a generous amount of melted butter to just give it that sort of like a fake dough where like you can kind of ply it like clay, but it still kind of crumbles, hence the name.
And what shape do you make these things in? I'm looking at both you and Andrea.
The crumbly shape.
So, like, are we looking like an 8x8 pan? Are we looking at a angel cake pan where it's just a ring? What are we doing?
I just use whatever baking pan is there. I don't use anything fancy like an angel cake pan.
And-
Like if any sort of like baking dish, really, that like you would make a cobbler in or a pie in.
Yeah, I know a pie pan.
Yeah, our pie plates. That's what you make it in.
Oh, by the way, our dinner plates. And by the way, Doug, Ed was fanning himself because I think he was just hot and bothered about a woman baking.
I heard juice and pie in the same sentence. No, but sorry.
Hold on, I gotta straighten up my shorts for a second now. Okay. So we went and bought glass pie dishes. We no longer use plates in our house. We have some, but we never use them. We use a pie bowl. We call it a plot. Because if you eat spaghetti or peas, they don't run off your fucking plate when you're trying to eat them.
Right.
It's a beautiful thing.
All right, that's rare.
Yeah. We've like, this shit needs to happen for everybody. You no longer need plates. You just need a Pyrex pie.
It's what we do here.
Yeah. You put it in the dishwasher, you can put it in the freezer, you can put it straight
So
into
you
the
can
oven
make your apple crumble in it and then use it as your plate.
and eat the whole fucking thing by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any way to eat it otherwise?
No.
With Travis staring from across the room going, "Aww." So Bree would like to eat somebody's pie now. Just saying. And
Challenge accepted.
yeah. Mouse says, okay, but there are pasta plates designed for that. Don't fucking care. We can buy a glass Pyrex dish, a plot.
You got him started.
Because, and by the way, do you have time to listen about our Lord and Dinner Savior, the air fryer? Anyhow. Okay. So baking. Let's go to basics. If somebody's like, I want to bake, what's the first thing?
If they want to go fancy, I'm going to tell them to do a crumble because you'll know when you see it if you've made it right with like your dry ingredients. It really doesn't matter. Like you can taste it and you can be like, yeah, it tastes fine. Then you can taste and see like, does it need more sugar? Does it need more cinnamon? You can do that 100%, and it's not going to make you sick tasting the dry ingredients. For the melted butter, you just add it in slowly and churn it over until you get like that sort of like crumbly old clay.
By the way,
texture to
add it in slowly, you mean add it in slowly melted into the flour.
Yeah, you're going to just mix all your dry ingredients together.
Okay.
So you're going to mix your flour and your sugar and your cinnamon, and like I say, I throw in, rolled oats for like a nice crunchiness. But yeah, you mix all of your dry ingredients together until it's like kind of like nice and homogenized. And then you'll slowly add in just melted butter.
Let me help the cooking people. The people that like, I like meat, I make meat. This is not a lot different from making the breading that you put on fried chicken.
Oh, you add fruit.
Yeah, you're going to take the flour, you're going to take the other seasonings, you're going to mix them all together. In this case, sugar and cinnamon, the melted butter, and you're going to make it kind of clumpy and crumbly. Am I right on that one? Am I going? Okay, carry on.
Yep. Hold on.
Go on.
Yeah.
One of you.
So
Somebody
once
take.
once you have your crumble crust made, just generously butter up whatever kind of pan you're going to use. Whether you're going to use like a deep baking dish, whatever the case may be, a generous amount of buttering. Just like get it coated so that nothing's stuck to it. Because the last thing you want to do is when you're trying to serve, your fancy guests, is you don't want to fight with it. You want to make it look effortless. So generous amount of butter and whatever kind of fruit you're putting in, just like whatever works for you. The last one I did is I did peach, and it was just we had a bunch of frozen peaches and no one was going to eat them, and I felt like I don't want to throw it away because I don't like throwing things away if they're still good. It seems so wasteful.
We have that same issue. All of us here.
Yeah, so I had just let the frozen peaches thaw, and because they had been frozen and thawed, they kind of made their own syrup to it.
Right.
And you just slosh it in there. You can use canned peaches if you're in a hurry and you just like need something quick.
Drain them?
That's probably going to be.
Drain them first?
Do not drain them.
Okay.
You want to keep that syrup in there to keep everything like nice and moist.
So if you're using canned peaches, all the liquid goes in.
All the liquid.
And you don't need to dice them or do anything crazy. You don't need to throw them in the food processor.
No.
Just whole sliced peaches, slap them in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you want to do fresh because you want to be super fancy like that, is you'll skin your peach, you'll slice it up whatever way you want. Add sugar water. Just like a generous amount of sugar in water to make like a nice syrup to it.
So
And,
cup
like,
of sugar, cup of water, make a nice thick mixture.
Yeah, so like just something to like make like a runny syrup is basically what you're
Okay.
after. It's like if you've ever had fresh from the tree maple syrup, and it has like not that thick Mrs. Butterworth stuff. It's runny and watery and delicious. That's what you're going after in terms of texture. So it's just like that. Again, like the fastest way and easiest way to still look super fancy is just use canned peaches. And you'll just give like a nice thick layer to whatever dish you have and crumble your crust right on top of it until it's like a nice little coating.
So are you talking about making a pie now? When you crumble the crust
Oh,
on
it's still a
top?
crumble.
Okay.
Because the crust is on top, not the bottom.
There's no bottom crust.
No, it's
No
just
bottom.
crumbled on the top.
Yeah.
That's why it's different than a pie.
So it's fruit with sugary bread on top.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, essentially.
I'm not
And
knocking
it's
this out.
yummy.
I'm just clarifying. So why haven't I had one?
Because I don't make peach and make apple.
When? Am I home?
It's only enough in one plate, so it's on mine.
I just come home and go, house smells great. Yeah, it did. But by the way, Ed's wife, Teresa, makes this incredible thing when we go camping. That Ed, you know what I'm talking about, right?
The lazy day cobbler.
Yeah, it's like
Oh yeah.
a box of cake mix, a can of whatever fruit, and what else, Ed?
Yeah.
Butter. And butter. And you throw it all in the pot, the like cast iron pot, put it over the fire, and ignore it for an hour. Oh my God. It's like orgasmic.
He dreams of this. Yeah.
It's very good. I'm just saying. And so the point being, it's not that hard to make a good, basic, baked good.
Yeah, if you're using the box cake mix, I can do that. I say I don't bake, but that's easy to do. You just sprinkle it on top of the fruit, take your stick of butter, slice it up, and lay it on top, and it comes out like a crumble.
So
Yeah, basically.
here's the hint about box stuff, guys.
Doug, he does it all the time. It's fine. We're bros. It's okay.
By the way, Doug in chat for everybody listening to the podcast says, Ed, Travis is dreaming of your wife's pie. That's what Ed was clarifying. And then Ed put a pussy up on the screen. Giggling
It wasn't me.
pussy. Oh, I'm sorry, Doug. I'm you and Doug, like peas in a pod.
Okay.
Like, it's really not. Oh, you know what?
What?
October's right around the corner. You know what that means?
No.
Pumpkin spice everything. And
Okay.
I have, like, the perfect
Can we talk
vegan
about
recipe.
pumpkin spice for a minute? Can we talk about the difference between pumpkin spice now versus pumpkin spice 20 years ago? Now, Rachel, I have no idea how old you are, but when pumpkin spice everything came out and hit the market, it tasted like fucking pumpkin pie. It had a hint of cinnamon and graham cracker and all these amazing flavors, and it was delightful. And now it's like saccharine and sugar with a hint of pumpkin or something. And people are like, that's great. And we're like, quiet down, white girl. Because it's not what it was when it came out.
No,
So how do you do pumpkin spice something right?
if you
Andrea?
want, I had an ex-boyfriend, of course, but he was like
Me
the
too.
basic
Right,
white
go
girl.
on.
He was the basic white girl that loved pumpkin spice everything, and so I made him little pumpkin puffs.
Okay.
And I wasn't gonna take the time out to learn how to do everything neatly and Amishly because I just don't have that kind of time
Sure.
and patience. So I took the shortcut of just using a spice cake mix
Okay.
and then just adding like extra nutmeg, extra cinnamon, and having pumpkin puree and just fold it all together. So that
Okay.
it made like a dough. And then you just throw it into the oven like that. It was so easy and he loved it.
Right.
Like,
Because
this is the best I've ever had, blah blah blah.
Right.
I'm like, yeah,
'Cause
because
it-
it's like not a bunch of corn syrup. It's
right.
closer to the original than it was to whatever's going on now.
Which is what I'm
Right.
saying. Yeah, let's back off the high fructose corn syrup, people. Let's go
Right.
back to real sugar for our junk food and real seasoning. It can't be that hard.
Pumpkin spice. I make a great pumpkin spice bread. That's
Yeah.
it.
Oh, where did you
That's
find the recipe? Do you want to tell that or not?
So what happened was, at Target, they have these little bins in the front at, different times of the year. They had like this little Thanksgiving plate, bread plate or something. And it was in the $1, $2 bin, recipe on it.
like that paper they put on the back with the scan bar? It's got a recipe on it.
No, the plate had it.
Oh.
The plate
Oh.
had the recipe
Plate
on it.
itself has the recipe.
Okay.
The plate had the recipe because you're supposed to make it and then put the bread on there. So I got the recipe and I made it.
So if anybody's like, this is great, I want the recipe, you're like, eat more and then you can have it.
Yeah. But it was something simple. I'm like, let's see. Why not? Got it off a plate at Target.
It's a goddamn great recipe. It really was.
Been
Just
making it for a
so
while now.
moist and thick and heavy. Because when you eat something pumpkin spice or a fruitcake even, you want it to be, ugh. You want a little muscle, a little oomph behind it. You don't want this light.
Thick and heavy and full of muscle. Got it.
Yeah.
Pumpkin spice, you want it to taste like the holidays, not chemicals.
Yeah. See, and that's something I want to point at Andrea here and let her take over. Andrea, you've had dietary issues previously, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And quite often, people have pointed at her and went, you've got celiac disease. You're gluten intolerant.
So what, after our tests and trying different things, I found that if I make my bread, no problem. It is not the gluten. It is the preservatives in the store-bought bread. So I started baking more because of that.
So even like getting a pizza from the freezer section, if we get one, which, funny fact, we found one preservative-free, $3 a pizza instead of $7 a pizza. No preservatives. She can eat a whole fucking pie by herself and be fine.
I do.
But you get one full of preservatives and she's like, I am in hell and I am going to fucking stab you because I'm in pain.
I think that has a lot to do with things people are suffering from nowadays. So baking. Yes, this is all about baking. Everybody should at least try it.
With fresh.
Yeah.
Could be
So
bread.
See the
reminds me
difference.
of something,
What?
talking about the preservatives.
Mhm.
Because it just popped back into my head. About going on 9 years now, my mom had a friend who wanted to give her a nice treat for her birthday. And my mom's friend gave her these little tiny cupcakes. And at the time, we had a white Pomeranian, and she found these little cupcakes that looked like white Pomeranians. The frosting was designed like that. And she gave them to my mom, and I was like, oh my god, they're so cute, blah, 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 I love it. She didn't have the heart to eat these really cute things that were gifted to her, so she just left them on the counter. They're still on her counter, and they still look exactly the same as they did the day that she was given them.
Wait,
9 years later.
she's...
Wow.
Wait, did you just say she had baked goods that are almost a decade old
Preservatives.
on her counter still?
Yeah. She just
Okay.
cleans off the little plastic top and
Wait, does
there's
she
no
have a
kind of
cat?
mold on there. There's nothing else. They just look like the day that they were bought. They're a little bit washed out with color, but they look like, you know, if you cleaned off the top and just sat it there, it's like, oh yeah, you could buy that and eat it. That should tell you something about the preservatives. Like 9
Yeah.
years later, it's
That's
actually
crazy.
kind of scary. I think those cupcakes will outlive the apocalypse.
Like
Wow.
Twinkies.
And moon pies.
Exactly.
Moon pies and Twinkies. Can we talk about Twinkies for a moment? 'Cause somebody mentioned those
Are they baked or fried?
earlier today.
Have you had a fried Twinkie?
Everything we eat in junk food, baked junk food today, made with high fructose corn syrup and chemicals and preservatives, etc. 20, 30, 40 years ago, they tasted different. Yeah?
Yes.
Because they were made with, I don't know, sugar. And they would rot and go bad if you didn't eat them.
There you go. They would rot. And people want things cheap. Corn syrup's cheaper than sugar. Hence, that's why your baked goods at the store mostly contain that instead of sugar now.
Okay.
Now you know.
So, baking. We got crumbles. We got... What about biscuits? You a biscuit person there, Rachel?
Yeah.
Now, you're from
Biscuits do take
Belize.
A lot more time, though.
Let me ask you
Because
this.
There's so much time waiting for it to rise.
I'm going to
before
derail
pound
you
it down again.
from biscuits. You're from Belize, correct? Or your family
Yeah.
is? Okay.
Yeah.
What is a traditional baked good that you eat, at least weekly, in Belize that we don't hear?
I mean, it's gonna be like a traditional little homemade bread, and we make it into like a nice roll, and it's like a sugary white bread.
Uh-huh.
Like if you had Wonder Bread, but
Right.
actually tasted good and was an actual bread.
So is this what is that?
I'm trying to do it. I'm trying to.
They
give
don't call it
American
Wonder
flavor.
Bread for nothing. You have to wonder what the hell's in it.
So
Yeah.
remember what is that? The one Latino Central American treat. They've got all kinds of things, but it's got like a koala or a teddy bear on it, and it's what is it? Whore, slut, bitch. What is the name? What is the name I'm thinking of?
I don't know.
Oh, come on.
I know what the snack is. I could picture the label, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's something that makes us look at it because they have like toilet paper with the same name. It's weird.
Oh, we're talking about Bimbo?
Bimbo, that's it. See, whore, slut, bitch. I got it.
I was like horse lip. But I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's like the preservative version of what you're talking about, right? Because they have like like Hostess Twinkies and cupcakes. They have 50 different things they put out under their label.
Yeah.
And
No, like
good.
the thing that I grew up with was my grandmother would make these breads, and every time I try and do it, I always mess it up a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't come out quite the same. But it's like a nice, soft white bread that she makes into like these nice little rolls, and then they make it into like a nice little like. It kind of looks almost like you should make it into a sandwich. They have an actual name for it, and I don't know what it is.
Are they little loaves like what you get at Outback with the brown bread?
No, there's an actual name for it where it's like a nice little sort of like a pseudo French bread, but it's like this size, and you
Okay.
can just slice it for like a sandwich.
Is it round or elongated?
It's round.
Okay.
I don't remember what it's called.
I can't remember the French
because-
name either. It's like, sourdough loaves come out looking like this. They look like round dollops of bread.
Yeah, but it's not like that. It's a little bit more sandwich shaped.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
Sure.
But it's just like a nice bread that we have that when you make it, and you have to make it from scratch. Trying to get this thing in the store is just like, it's not worth it. It's not, because it's never going to be the same. You have to have it from scratch at home, and then like try and figure out how you're going to eat it. It's like back in the day is that they would make a whole entire bakery
Right.
of this one bread, because that was like your week of bread for like having it with breakfast, with like your eggs. You would toast it, you would slice it up and have it like as a nice little treat with some tea. You'd have it for your sandwiches. You have it to like dip in your soup. It's kind of a staple, really, and it is just like a really nice.
I'm
treat
really
to have.
interested in meeting your grandmother now. Is she single?
My grandmother is single. Yes, my grandfather died when I was very, very young, so she's been single quite a long time.
Great.
Oh, you might have a chance.
Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. Okay, let's wrap this topic up. Baking. Oh, fuck! Doug just pointed out that I'm not single. But I'm willing to bet Andrea would love some fresh baked bread. So,
I'm willing to share.
yeah, we can work something out. It's, let's wrap this up. Rachel, Andrea, I'm going to turn to you guys. You got some closing thoughts on being a baker at home.
If you want to bake something easy, get an easy bake oven.
Oh, no.
Can't get any simpler than that.
Rachel, please say something intelligent after that.
I think when you try and start off baking, a lot of discouragement comes when you're trying to do something very fancy. You don't have to. That's a great way to be discouraged very quickly, because you will mess up something fancy. Stick to the KISS rule, keep it simple, and trust me, your simple things will look so amazing when you show it off to your friends, to your boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever. You start off simple and you build up your skill. That's how you become a baker. You don't have to start off like making bread and making something complicated. Start simple. You can do it.
In closing toast here, let's just raise our glasses to those folks that will put something in the oven we can enjoy. Here's to those folks. Oh, you got a plastic glass. That's no good. Okay, guys.
I
Yeah,
always try to put something in the oven that they'll enjoy.
we'll edit all that.